Are you aware of the potential health risks lurking in your own home? It's really surprising how some of the most commonplace household items can be concealing hidden toxins, potentially damaging our health. Now, there is a lot to consider, so I've broken this down into 10 of the most common household items that you want to avoid and given some healthier, natural alternatives that you might want to consider too. Now, first on the list, we've got scented candles, which can contain harmful compounds like formaldehyde, benzene, and phthalates. And these compounds, when released into the air, are linked with a number of serious health concerns, things like respiratory problems, hormone imbalances, and even cancer. Now, if you are going to use them, I'd recommend maximizing the ventilation so you're limiting your exposure, or looking for natural alternatives, things like beeswax candles scented with organic essential oils. And number 2, we've got antiperspirant. Yes, they do help us stop sweating, but antiperspirants often contain aluminium compounds and parabens, which can be absorbed through our skin. It's been linked to an increased risk of breast cancer, whilst parabens are known to disrupt our hormone balance. So you can opt for more natural aluminium-free antiperspirants, or you can try creating your own using a combination of coconut oil, organic arrowroot powder, baking soda, and just a few drops of essential oils and a smell that you find pleasing. And number 3, we've got the common receipt printed off at most shops after we bought something. But these receipts are often coated with chemicals like BPA, which is known to disrupt our hormone imbalance. Now, what you can do here is to avoid handling receipts so much. Perhaps put them in your wallet straight after receiving them, and try to avoid touching them if you've used hand lotion or moisturizer, as this can increase the absorption of these harmful toxins through our skin and into our bloodstream. And at number 4 on the list, we've got non-stick pans. Now, these create 2 separate health problems. Firstly, if we overheat the pans, they can emit toxic fumes, which can create flu-like symptoms in the short term and are linked to a range of serious negative health outcomes over the long term. And secondly, when their surface gets scratched, they start to release perfluoroalkyl substances, otherwise known as PFAS, or you may have heard of them as forever chemicals. These get released into our food and then we eat them, which is really something that we want to avoid, as it's been recently linked to a range of negative health outcomes. So what you can do here is to avoid non-stick pans. Choose things like iron, stainless steel, even ceramic. And if you have got non-stick pans at home and they're scratched, I would suggest just to throw them out and buy something new. And number 5 on the list, we've got air fresheners. Whilst they might smell nice, they can contain a toxic cocktail of compounds, including things like benzene, phthalates, and volatile organic compounds, which can build up in the indoors environment and cause respiratory issues and also reproductive problems too. And a recent study has even linked these volatile organic compounds with a range of negative impacts in the workplace. A drop in creativity and decrease in brain power have been noted. And what you can do as an alternative is choose a pure organic essential oil diffuser to get some nice smells free of any harmful compounds, or get some indoor plants. I personally like to use a peppermint-based essential oil on my diffuser whilst I'm working, as peppermint's been shown to increase our focus. And number 6 is a fairly obvious one. It's those plastic food containers, which can contain compounds like phthalates and BPA, which can leach into our food and drink, particularly if they're heated. And these are linked to hormone imbalance and to issues in children too. You can opt for glass or stainless steel containers as an alternative, but one thing that I'd recommend is to watch out for containers saying free from BPA. Whilst it's true they might be free from BPA, they can contain other similar compounds, for example BPC, which could be just as harmful. We've got antibacterial hand soaps, which whilst they promise to, and they certainly do in most instances, many contain triclosan, which is a known hormone disruptor and can contribute towards antibiotic resistance. And triclosan can also contribute towards environmental pollution. As we wash it down the sink, it can be harmful to aquatic life. And in most instances, warm water and soap can be just as effective as antibacterial hand wash. But if you're really worried and need a stronger disinfectant to kill those germs, then you can create your own alcohol hand gel using a simple mix of aloe vera gel and isopropyl alcohol. And number 8, we've got fabric softener, which can often contain a cocktail of chemicals, including synthetic fragrances, which can cause respiratory issues and skin irritation. And long-term exposure to these chemicals may also impact our hormonal balance too. And you can go for a natural alternative to this with just simple white wine vinegar and a few drops of essential oil for fragrance. And you really want to watch out on your fabric softener, but also on other household products too, for the use of the word parfum, as this simple word can be used to hide any number of the range of potentially toxic compounds. And number 9, we've got the household cleaners, which can contain high amounts of volatile organic compounds. In the short term, these can create respiratory issues, fatigue and tiredness, and even long-term have been linked and liver damage. Now, switching to natural cleaning products or making your own with ingredients like alcohol, baking soda, and vinegar is a great way to ensure you can minimize your exposure to some of these compounds. And number 10 on our list, we've got carpets and rugs, which can emit a range of toxic compounds, including formaldehyde and benzene. In fact, the compound that we might associate with that new carpet smell, 4PC, is a volatile organic compound linked with a range of negative health impacts, contributing towards our internal environmental pollution, as we're exposed to these things all day long. And whilst that 4PCH might smell nice with that new carpet smell, it's been linked to a range of problems, including respiratory issues, skin irritation, and even cancer. And so to minimize exposure here, if at all possible, when you're choosing new flooring, try to go for natural fibers. And if this isn't possible, and particularly so if it's new flooring, try to maximize ventilation during the early stages, just to reduce your exposure to those harmful compounds. Now, I know there are quite a few toxins to be aware of, and it can be overwhelming. But once you're aware of them, a good way to deal with it is to create a list of the toxins that you know you have in your house. And then one by one, gradually start replacing them for safer alternatives, as you've got the time, headspace, and money to afford to do so. I hope this has been helpful for you today. Please, if you like it, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. We release videos every day on health, optimization, and longevity.